Well, flyers are still dealing with delays after American Airlines issued a ground stop for all flights on Christmas Eve morning. A technical issue forced pilots to turn some planes around on the tarmac, throwing holiday plans and flight schedules into a tailspin. The airline is expecting more than 12 million customers across 118,000 flights this holiday season. Now, operations resumed just before 8 a.m. Eastern, but for some, the damage was already done. We've got CBS News correspondent Skyler Henry live in Atlanta at the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Skyler, how are things looking right now where you are?
Hey, Michael, good to see you as always. Well, they'll call this the busiest airport in the world, but things running relatively smoothly here. It's a less than 10-minute wait to get through the TSA checkpoint. Nonetheless, earlier today, many were wondering how that outage and ground stop could potentially impact flights leaving out of an airport like this. American Airlines released a statement saying that there are several major cities across the country that were impacted by that ground stop. Boston, Washington, Chicago, down in Florida, Miami, Dallas as well, all saying that they experienced several delays. And if you look at the number of delays from about 6 o'clock this morning, right around 33 delays, ramped up to about 700, if not a little bit more than that, at about 9 o'clock due to this outage. American says that it's because of a vendor technical issue that actually prevented the release of certain flights. Nonetheless, they got everything dealt with in quick fashion. Still, we saw some complaints and some concerns, if you will, on social media. People saying that they simply wanted to get to their destination by Christmas, but it appears as if everything is resolved. Some people that we spoke with say that they didn't experience any delays when we went to the American counter. And so I think, all things considered, a lot of people are just happy to get back onto the road or make it to their respective destinations.
Well, that's some good news at least, Skyler, but couldn't be worse, the timing right here, because we've been tracking some weather systems on both coasts that could pose some problems for travelers. Any estimation on the impact of that and when these delays could subside?
Yeah, well, speaking of when it rains, it pours. For Americans specifically, if you look at some of the flights out in Dallas, there's some storms there that are causing potential delays. We're monitoring that situation to see how travelers there are impacted. But also, if you look at the weather events happening on both coasts, especially in the Northeast, especially out west, and travelers certainly have their hands full as well, especially considering the storms out near the Santa Cruz, California area, and then also the snow that's hitting Boston and New York. And other places as well. Some icy roads and concerns are there in the mid-Atlantic region as well. It's why we're seeing a historic number of drivers hit the road. If you listen to what AAA has to say, officials indicate that they anticipate more than 100 million people hitting the roadways this way because gas prices are down, airline tickets are up, and they say that this is an easier way to travel and get around. Still, they say that a day like today, less traffic on the road, so things should run relatively smoothly around the country. The big travel day, Michael, Friday, coming up in a couple of days. At this airport alone, they anticipate more than 300,000 people making their way through TSA just on Friday.
Wow, so fingers crossed for all those travelers. Skyler Henry, thanks.